I also wanted to inform y'all that it is very much brick city in this room. So like if you see me like, you know, like I'm cold, man. I'm cold, and you can't even turn off this thing. Like you can't adjust or nothing. I try to put the little latch down so that, and it's right directly towards my bed. I try to put the little latch down so that it go like this instead of that, because when it go like that, I feel it in my sleep. So I'm cold. That's all I gotta say. I literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 blankets in this room. It is brick. But you know, I ain't even really complaining, because freshman year they definitely put me in a dorm that ain't have AC, and it definitely reached 100 degrees in that piece, okay? And so I can't even complain, you know. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna just cuddle up in my blankets or whatever. But when you see me like this, that I'm just cold. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. We're here again. If you don't already know, my name is Perfection and this is Peach Season, and today I got for you some peach tea. All right, the topic for today I've decided on was friendship, simply because I've just been hearing a lot of situations of people considering people their friends and they're doing some really trifling things, and I'm like, what are the qualifications for being friends in this generation? Because that doesn't sound like a friend to me. I'm gonna let y'all know now, I'm a bit of an introvert, and it's like not like, it's a little bit intentional because I don't really like people like that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's just a lot of drama, a lot of headache when it comes to a lot of people. Like, I don't know, it's really mainly the drama thing. I'm not about the drama thing. I'm cool. I'm actually a really good people person. I just don't like people. Like, I can start up a conversation with anybody, go anywhere, and have like a really intense 5-hour long conversation with someone I've never met before. I've done it multiple times. Super easy for me. Just as long as the other person is just as engaging in the conversation as I am, if they're willing to hear my thought process, I'm always willing to hear somebody's thought process. So that happens a lot, and I meet a lot of dope people in that way, right? But on the same note, I'm a workaholic. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I really am. I be at Chipotle 24/7. And if I'm not at Chipotle, I'm in my room, possibly doing homework, most likely procrastinating. But that's just how my life tends to be. So predominantly my social life revolves around those random interactions where I just walk in, just happen to sit down, and start a really long, intimate, deep conversation with somebody. That being said, when it comes to making friends for me, the little things that I see are super important, because like I said, I don't have the time to really go out to social events and really, you know, see people on a regular basis, meet up with people every weekend, every day, or whatever. So the little small things that I see in the way that they act and the way that they respond to certain things show me their character, and it is based off of that character that is shown to me determines whether or not I'm willing to let them into my space, right? I'm kind and cordial with everyone and anyone, but it really comes down to respect and consideration. As you've seen in my previous videos, I am so big on this. I preach it all the time. It's extremely important to me, but I feel like for me personally, sometimes I could take it to a further extent where maybe it might be a little bit too much. For example, whenever my friends think I'm super weird for this, but whenever I go to like a friend's house and I'm in their room or something, I have this really bad habit of standing in the doorway. And it's just simply because I feel the need to be invited in. I feel the need for someone to tell me, oh, you can sit here, you can sit there. It may be because of coming from a Caribbean household. It might not be that at all. It could just be a really personal thing. But like, to me, it's manners. Like, I know I was outside. I smell like outside. My clothes was outside. And I don't want to just sit on your bed where you sleep, where you rest your head at night. So I need you to let me know what you're comfortable with. If you want me to sit on a chair, if you want me to sit on the bed, wherever it may be, right? So whenever I see somebody just welcome themselves into somebody's space and just be really, there's a word for it. Yeah, whenever I see someone's just entitled to somebody else's space, like they come in, let's say there's like food and they just take the food, especially if this is your first time going by somebody, like they just take the food, or they, whatever it may be, they just sit anywhere, they spread out and they're just super comfortable, and they're not like really looking and considering whether or not you're comfortable with how they gravitate in your area or how they function in your space. I look at that and I see that, and to me that's like a warning sign. That's like a red flag, because it means to me, like, to me, if you can't respect something so small as my space, my property, my food, whatever it may be, then how am I supposed to be sure that you can respect like my family members or my other friends or my relationship? Like, how can I know that you're gonna be considerate of that if you can't even consider something as small as, you know, everyday property, or just, you know, putting in that consideration for my upkeep and my space? Because, you know, it's something that I value. It may be something small, but it's something that I value. So if you can't value something small that I value, how can I be sure that you'll value something big that I value? I don't know if you guys understand that, right? So really, again, respect. No matter what relationship you have, no matter what direction, respect is really important. I see little, really small details for me, and it's like like I said, it's to an extreme. It can be really unnecessary sometimes, but they're really small things that trigger me. Like, if you expect, the whole thing about respecting my property, it could be something so small. Like, let's say I let you borrow my umbrella, right? If you bring it back broken and do not inform me that it was broken, like, I don't like that. Or like, and also personally, like, if I broke somebody's property, I usually want to pay for it or buy them a new one, because that's just the kind of person I am. That's the way I was raised. That's just what I do. Like, to me, that's really considerate. It makes sense. Like, if you did, like, okay, for example, a lot of parents say things like, oh, if you break it, you buy it, or find things the way you left it. Like, I guess that was really ingrained in me as a kid. So if something is destroyed and it is my fault, I really want to fix it, even if sometimes I can't. Like, I really put in that leg, put in that foot to try and fix something that I actually destroyed. And I find that to be an amazing quality in friends that I make. But anyways, let's move on to the next topic. I feel like that was really the main thing when it comes to friendships. Like, it really comes down to respect and stuff. But these are more like personal things. For example, energy. And if they really mesh with me. After respect, like, I could really be friends with anybody. If I see that we're on the same level, like, when it comes to that, then it really doesn't matter what it is. Like, as long as we have a chill vibe. For me, I could vibe with anybody, right? So, I mean, the only pet peeve that I have when I'm talking to someone is if they don't listen to anything I say. That triggers me so much. I cannot be friends with someone who doesn't listen to anything I say. If it, like, you don't hear anything that I say, like, there's so many people like this. Like, they have really short attention spans. I can't do it. Like, that is one thing. Like, I would just walk away from the situation. Like, or I'll stop talking. I'll completely shut down. I'll completely stop talking. And if you ever get me to the point where I stop talking and I shut down, the likelihood of our relationship progressing is slim to none. Like, I will forever, like, I'll be mute throughout the whole relationship. And anybody who knows me, any real friend of mine who knows me knows that I talk a lot, or like, I do get quiet sometimes. That's natural. That's normal. I do that. I be zoning out sometimes. But when I start talking, I start talking. Like, as y'all can see in these videos, like, this is literally how I have conversations. So if you only know me as a quiet individual, likelihood is that either the situation I'm in with you is usually uncomfortable for me, or you just make me feel uncomfortable. Like, it's only one of those two things. And it's just to a point where I just don't feel like communicating with you anymore. But yeah, so energy is really important. If we vibing, we could bounce off each other's conversation, we got a similar sense of humor in certain aspects, then we coolin'. Like, I can literally be friends with anybody. Another really, like, personal thing that I find really intriguing in friendships is intelligence. Like, I am so intrigued by intelligence. Like, I really love it. And it's not just like book smart, like that's something I was really exposed to in like high school and even middle school, but even like any kind of intelligence, emotional intelligence, it's really actually specifically emotional intelligence. Book smarts like really intrigue me as well, but emotional intelligence makes me like, it's just like, you understand, or it's just like really enlightening, you know. And even like street smart, like just any form of intelligence is, I like that. I love it so much. So much. I love seeing people who are passionate in what they do. I love seeing people who are dedicated and really, you know, focused on their goals. I myself need to work on that. So seeing that and having that energy around me is really attractive to me. Like, I really love it. But particularly intelligence and just being able to have a conversation about like a passion, or just to learn something new from somebody else, to better myself, or even to share information. I'm a nerd on all aspects, like a geek, whatever you want to call me. I love learning. Like, I really genuinely love to learn. So friends who can give me more information, who can enlighten me, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. That's a personal pet peeve of mine. I think it's so attractive. It makes me want to be around somebody when I know that they can teach me something new. Last but not least, this is a big thing for me. This is super personal for me as an individual, would really be constructive criticism, right? So when I have a friend, I have their best interests in mind. I really want them to be successful. I really want them to be happy. I really want them to be like, I'm successful. Like, my friends, I want them all to succeed in life. That's pretty much it. So if I see you're doing something that is not to your benefit, there's a likely chance that I will draw that to your attention. I like, and I know my boundaries too. I'm not gonna go out of my way and make somebody feel uncomfortable, excuse me, like, and just address situations that I have no business being a part of. But particularly if you come to me about said issue, I will try to help you find a solution. So recently I've learned that that is probably not a great trait, because, you know, most people come to you about problems like looking for consolence and looking for you know, comfort, but I've honestly never ever been good at that. So I'm just not the friend to go to if you need like a shoulder to lean on. 95% of the times, like, I could cuddle if you want to cuddle, but like, I'm not good at like being like, oh, everything will be all right, because if to me the situation doesn't seem like it's gonna be all right, I personally don't like lying, so I will not tell you that. Like, if you're telling me that like your whole world is falling down, and from my perspective it looks like your whole world is falling down, and there's literally like, there's a very slim hope, I'm gonna be the one to be like, okay, this and that is what you gotta do for you to get out of the situation. I'm not gonna be like, oh, it'll be fine, it'll work out, because that to me is scary, because I don't want you to think it will work out and then you just give up and then you continue to fall. Like, that's scary to me. So I'm gonna be the one to be like, all right, this is what you gotta do, I'm gonna help you do it, let's go. So that being said, it's really hard for me to be a friend to someone who isn't good with constructive criticism, like, because it's scary for me. Like, I really don't want to see my friends fall. I really want to see them succeed in life. So if I'm seeing you doing something and it's a trait that you should probably work on, and especially if you come to me about a problem and then I point that out to you, if you get emotional, or like if that person gets emotional or bends over backwards about that, or they get distance from me or something like that because of that, I'm probably gonna give them a little distance, just because, like, one of two things, right? First and foremost, I don't want to see you crash and burn, especially if I care about you tremendously. I don't want you to not take my advice and like just crash and burn. Like, that is so scary to me. If I really love somebody, if I really care for somebody, I want to see you successful. I don't want to watch you fail. No matter, even if it's slow, even if it's a long process, I really want you to succeed. And if I see that you're in a really stagnant place, I don't want to be there for that. I'm sorry, but I can't see my friends fail. I love my friends too much. I will help you out of struggle before I watch you fail. And I feel like that's missing in a lot of relationships and a lot of friendships these days. Because when I'm seeing each other support each other do, when I'm seeing people, like the way people stab each other in the back and being like, oh, that's my best friend, like, what are people on today? Like, what kind of energy? Like, that's really wild to me. Like, I really care for the people I care for. Like, I really want to see them survive. I want to see them strive. I want to see them successful. So, like, all that negative stuff is really wild to me. I've never, ever experienced that personally. Like, and if I know somebody's toxic, I'm gonna throw them out of my space. Or, like, I'm gonna not even throw them out. I'm gonna just politely excuse myself and separate myself from the situation. That's part of why I prefer to be kind of reclusive, because, you know, like, it's just too much different energies, too much drama, too much flakiness for me to really want to rely on anyone. But yeah, that being said, constructive criticism is super important to me, because I really, really care for the success of my friends. And, you know, being able to help them, I'm more than willing. But I gotta also be able to see that they're able to stand on their own 2 feet. I don't want my friends to be dependent on me. To me, that's not a friend either, because if your friend is so dependent on you that they start to use you, excessively, and not to say that, you know, you're helping them out once or twice, that's fine. We all, as friends, you should be willing and comfortable with helping your friend out. But when it comes to one riding off the other one, that's when it's not really a friendship anymore. Like, there's so many, like, I've just been seeing so many negative traits within friendships. People being in friendships just because, you know, they want to feel like they have somebody. And I understand that. Trust me, I do. But, you know, I could never. I just can't. You know, I need to be around people who want to be around me. People who have the same kind of morals as I do. Because, you know, like I said, it's really about energy. I can be friends with anybody, again, mind you that. But when it comes to, like, really close and interpersonal, that's a whole nother level. These are just what I talked about so far is literally the bare minimum. The bare minimum. I think we get into a little bit more closer friends when I talk about pride and constructive criticism, simply because, you know, like I said, I can be friends with anybody. I have a lot of acquaintances because, you know, I like to talk. So, and then also my name. Ooh, my feet fell asleep. Oh, now the angle is off. It's whatever. But yeah, my name is like, oh my god. Oh, did y'all hear that? So I've been trying to show people this for the longest, but I be cracking my chest right here. Like, it just, I don't know if y'all heard that. I hope y'all heard that, because y'all be hearing everything. But it popped, and it's in the same spot every time. But anywho, should I get a pillow to finish this? I'm gonna get a pillow. Yes, that's better. But anywho, if that's really all it comes down to. Like I said, constructive criticism thing is really more when it comes to more personal friends, because like I said, I want to see you succeed, and I have to know that you're able to hear me and move with me in the same way that, like, I take constructive criticism too. Like, if you're gonna tell me something about myself that I should work on, I'm gonna consider it. But again, like I said, it just depends. Like, if it's me coming to you about a problem and you're trying to help me out, that's one thing. But if you're just nitpicking at every and anything that I do, again, ooh, that's also something that I don't like. If somebody comes into your life and is telling you all the which and what ways that you need to change yourself, they don't want to be your friend. They got an expectation of what they think you should be, and that's who they want. That's who friend they want to be. They don't want to be your friend. That is a red flag. Okay? I hate that so much. Do not, bro, you met me how you met me. If you don't like me, then don't talk to me. Like, don't be in my space. And I feel like people should really feel like that. If somebody come into your life and they want to change any and everything about you, like, stay far away. That's negative energy. You don't need that. You above that. But yeah, only other thing that I didn't mention, I was supposed to talk about during, like, respect and consideration is, again, this whole thing with all these people calling these people their friends and the types of stuff that I see them doing to each other and behind each other's backs is the same. But that being said, every best friend that I've ever had in my life, not a single one of them has stabbed me in the back. Not one. And at any point that they've ever accidentally emotionally hurt me, and when I say accidentally, it was for sure accidentally. And then also when I say emotionally hurt me, of the people that I consider my friend, not a single one of them, my best friend, not a single one of them has ever intentionally hurt me emotionally. And I can't even think of a moment where they've done so accidentally. But even then, there were situations in which they believed that they accidentally hurt me emotionally, and they apologized for that. Every instance, you know, where they felt they were a little bit out of character, they felt they were a little, like, they made me feel uncomfortable, even whether or not they did, they still apologized about that genuinely. And it was, in the moment, it was for sure an accident. It was not intended to be spiteful, it was not intended to be degrading. So that level of respect is so important to me, you know. So it's just insane to me that I'm hearing the things that I'm hearing. Like, this is not friendship. I think you guys are too loose with your relationship. Not you guys, but you know, these stories that I'm hearing, like, you should probably consider your space a little bit more. Like, energy is so important. Like, you want to be happy, and to be happy you must be surrounded by positive energy. You know, it's not to say that you should have a lot of people around you, a lot of good vibes around you, but even if it's just one or two really pleasant people around you, you know, that's helpful. And then even then, you know, honestly, my friendships, I don't really think I have very many super close friendships, in the sense that both of my best friends are out of the state, and as of the people who are close to me right now, I'm not like the first person they hit up. So I wouldn't say that we're like super close. They're cool people for sure, but I'm not like best friend or second best friend in any way, shape, or form, right? But so that's just to say that, you know, what I'm talking about is like idealist in my head, right? It's not to say that any of y'all should think the way I do or feel or breathe the way I do. You know, it's just what I'm, once again, it's how I feel, what I'm thinking, how I'm perceiving life. So let me know if you agree or disagree. Let me know if there's anything that I missed in terms of what should qualify someone as a friend or a best friend. And, you know, just let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if you like this fit. Okay, did y'all see the fit? Y'all ain't seen the fit. Y'all ain't seen the fit. Got me, you know, the fit is popping. Yeah, so that's it for y'all's. Much love, peace, and happiness. Find yourselves a good friend who loves you for you. Somebody who wants to be in your life because you are who you are, okay? That's all you need to be around. Don't let none of that negative energy inside. You don't need it. You don't need it. Deuces. Okay. So, ooh. So another thing that I find to be really intriguing. So this is another like personal thing, right? That we're good. I need to stop though. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. So anyways, okay, one more time. So anyways, another really